Presentations are now done. Now let's take one back. So welcome back, and the presentation are done, and now it's time to go through the presentations. So we will start here at Vamia, and it's going to be Eileen's screen that is going to show their presentation, and then after that we have Trale and then Omnia. And the idea is that Trale, you can look really carefully the Eileen's presentation, and then if you have some comments or questions about something that you find interesting or whatever, it's not like evaluating how the presentation is, but the content of the presentation.
Yeah, just giving an idea if there's more that you can add or that you haven't found out or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like really important that what do you see interesting in it, because then we might use those products and those aspects that, you know, you have the fresh eyes, and so you can be like the customer evaluation. And then after your comments, it's going to be Trale's presentation, and then Omnia is looking at it extra carefully, giving the comments. And at the last, it's then the Omnia's turn to give the presentation, and Vamia is going to look at that really carefully and giving the comments on the same way.
are we ready? Yes?
Yes, ready.
Yep, so I give word for Eileen.
Go ahead.
So you can test. You have to do you hear it when if Eileen is talking?
Okay.
But you have the present button on there on the top.
Present. There. Great. Now. Speak loud.
Yeah. So ask for everybody can hear it.
As loud as.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Eileen from Vamia, and I will present some of the locally grown foods here in Vaasa, Finland, or at least nearby here in Vaasa. So let's start.
Do you hear clearly, everybody, when Eileen is talking?
Okay.
So we can start now. So the first thing that we found is
Just before you start again, is we can't actually see the presentation. It's pretty small.
Share. Change the. You can change those. Ne näkee sen pienen.
Yeah, you can drag it to the, if the picture is small, you can drag it to the left so it should be larger.
It will change the system.
You can change the how the screen looks. Just drag the video, different videos from your screen.
Yeah, we can put it on full screen, but we can't see yourselves.
What?
So
Just go into it again, Maris. Yeah.
if you drag it to the left,
Yeah, we have it now. Yeah, thank you.
okay, better now, good.
okay. So the first farm is Palomaan Mansika Farming. It is located in Ostrobotnia in Isokuro. So product freshness, good quality, and taste have always been the priority of this farm. They use all expertise to be able to guarantee the first-class quality of products and customer satisfaction. So the early stages of this farm date back into the 5th century, when the drying process and making fields to arable was started by Pastor Brenner of Isokuro congregation. So they produce like organic potatoes, berries such as strawberry, raspberry, blueberries, like that. So So berries are grown with years of experience using the most natural methods like bee pollination, biological control of pest mites, and clean water. All berries grow in a clean, ideal growth environment, producing you tasty and safe products. So we also have here in Baasa, Maria Vihanestila Yarmo Valtari. It's also berries, if I am not mistaken, berries and vegetables. So they also produce organic fruits and vegetables. So it is also located in Yokivat City, 501 Bahakero. Customer satisfaction, quality of service, quality of product, sustainable development, taking care of the environment, respect for nature, preserving scenery, and profitable production continuity, farmers' income. And we also found cordial vegetables. It is known for they are also producing organic vegetables. It is a family-owned business that started small in 1988 and today cultivates organic vegetables both in the open and the greenhouse. Ravel Kodial is from Punya, northern India. He came to Finland in 1980 to study at Martens Nursery School in Ulimarku. After developing his vegetable growing expertise in Finland through both training and work, he and his wife Berry went on to develop their own farming and market products. And we have here, yeah, we also have here me. Just a moment, please.
And meanwhile, I can talk about, for example, that slight challenges that in this case, because we are living in Finland, and many of the local producers doesn't have website which has content in English. So it's quite challenging for them to search information.
Because translate everything in English now.
Yeah. So, and then those are farms that are there, they have done a lot of work to promote themselves. So they have high quality websites, so it's easy to find information. And for example, this Jarmo Valtari, their farm is like open to public for during the summertime. So you can go there and get your basket and go and pick your own berries, peas, and some other vegetables. And they also, like, it's part of it, they have a playground for the kids, so while the parents are picking, the kids can play. And they offer free coffee and donuts for everybody who will visit there. So they have made a quite large brand for themselves. Their berries are much more expensive than everybody else's, but they are really good in quality. And even though you pick berries by yourself, I also the sound from them. Yeah? And even though you pick berries by yourself, you still end up paying more than you do if you buy some other, basically unorganic berries from other producer at the marketplace. But for example, our family will visit there every summer because it's like one of the things to do during the summer for us.
And these cordials vegetables that they talk about, this guy originally from India using almost all the time around here in the school, because it's half more, like let's say carrots, it have half more taste than normal ones because of the like growth, and cordials he's really taking care of the things that he's doing and respecting the nature and everything on the way. So that's pretty cool. I think it's gonna be awesome thing to put it on a menu, like cordials vegetables.
Put on the mic?
No.
Yes, hey, I'm Kurat, and I'm going to tell you about Riga.
Make the presentation, put the presentation mode on.
Share. Yeah, there it is.
It's Mangalita and organic crops. And yeah, it's Josephine Tela farm is located in Mustasari, Ostrobothnia. It's nearby Davasa, and it produces organic crops as well as Mangalitsa pork. They have been producing crops since 2012, and the first Mangalitsas arrived at their farm in the summer of 2015. Mangalitsa breeding. They breed Mangalitsa pigs in Finland. These are also known as woolly pigs in Finland. Mangalitsa is a fatty.
Downright.
Yeah, they breed Mangalidza pigs in Finland. They are also known as woolly pigs. Mangalidza is a fatty pig type that grows a thicker layer of fat under its skin, as well as a plentiful coat of fur to protect it from the winter wind. The Mangalidza is pasture bred all around the year. Or they also grow organic crops. So they grow their farm many have many different types of domestic crops and peas. They produce crops in an organic way, both for animal feed and grocery use. They also produce malt for the brewery industry. Meat product sales. They sell small amount of mainly frozen pork directly from the farm. They also supply fresh meat to order, a whole of a whole or half a half cut according to their client's need. Here is the contact details, the name, the address, and the phone number and the email address. And it's done from this side.
Okay, thanks. Then you can say bye bye and
Thank you. Bye bye.
keep the leaves up and on. Right hand. With the right hand. With the right hand. Then. I didn't know. Or you have some more? Huh?
And we also found here like organic fish, Brogard's lax oil, fresh and smoked fish from Lady. It is a fish farming and processing company based in the village of Skafdong in Kristinestad. They sell products to wholesalers, shops, restaurants, kitchens, households, and catering companies around the country. Their fish products are also a popular gift for business partner, staff, etc. You can also buy domestic rainbow trout, either fresh or smoked. They serve fresh and tasty fish for and festive occasions. They get both hot smoke and cold smoke and grilled trout. These are the contact details. So you can also contact them if you want. And it is also stated here their email address. So that's all. Thank you.
We also have some.
Okay.
My phone, I think.
No.
Is it okay?
Then I just wanted to tell a little bit about Snailman because I have a small chance to work with them when I was in chemistry field. I was in like the laboratory with them. So Snailman, this is the local, not really local in the past. I was in Ostrobonia, Finland, and Snailman company is like a family company for like 60 years, and the first they invest in sausages and meat, but now they are really big company with their sourcing, soldering, cutting, and processing of meat. There's various meat products in their company, and this is the address. And if you want to have a look in the how they make the mix.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, so thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so it was the 1 year's part. We took a little bit more time than we should have been taken, but is Trale ready for the short comments?
Yes, I think we're ready here. Yeah.
Okay. So something that you find interesting or what about our local products and producers?
I don't know. Come on, guys, you said that already. Did you find it interesting?
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, it was nice to see that there's a variety of different places around, like, that you kind of put class as like a tradition to go into like the berry farm over like the summer with families and then like making a day out and stuff. So like at a younger age they still get to eat like fresher produce as they grow up, like.
Yeah, yes, that's what I if I got it correctly, then I also and think that's good example about how the local producers can give extra. It's something that local producer can ever produce is this kind of these local how to say events, and then more to this. It's so much more than just the actual raw materials and the ingredients.
Yeah.
It's something to do, and that truly gives a story behind the food. For example, we prepared this strawberry cake out of the strawberries that we were picking in this really nice sunny day from Vähäkyrö. Yes. Okay. Do you have something else you want to raise up? Okay. Then we are really interesting to see your presentation, and then the Omnia should be watch it really carefully and give the comments what you did find interesting about Trale's local producers. Yes, please, you can share your presentation.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Now, please do that. So ask the question there, yeah. Okay. How can we again, because we're not sure on this, how do we show the presentation but also see more?
You have the PowerPoint there on down there.
Yes.
That one is
Drag down.
and then click it open. Now we see it finally, and then you can put it to presentation mode.
Yeah.
Yes, and now it's
good.
perfect.
Good.
Thank you.
But for us here now, we can't see.
We lost you. Can you repeat?
But it won't be there. If you think you know what it is, if you're saying try it. Just keep on.
Okay.
Yes.
The screen is smaller. Like, if you want to kind of drag it down.
Yeah.
What's the corner?
Just
Off the side and try and drag it
One slide.
in.
It's not dragging it, it's just going from.
You can put the presentation mode also on, yes.
Now it's good.
We don't need it. It's better. Okay, so you can see us.
Yes, we can see your presentation. Go ahead.
Right, but you just want to introduce yourself first, and then to be honest, then tell them about the presentation. Then Morris will play the clip because I think you could see the clip.
So my name is Shannon, and essentially our presentation, we've done it on the Taste Kerry website, which combines like a lot of different local suppliers from South Kerry and North Kerry. So like we've got some people from we've got local kind of little farmers markets like from Carher Daniel and stuff along those lines. But like with the clip that we're going to show you, like it's just kind of going to combine all the local suppliers in Kerry. It's not so much Tralee based, but it's within like the one county. So we're just going to show you a YouTube video about the Taste Kerry website. Can you see them? So, like as I said, could you see the full video?
Have you seen the video?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A representation of all kind of markets and like outlets, products beyond like maybe like branch out to bigger shops like some kind of even local shops might have taken on like small food business, like maybe like seafood black puddings and stuff along them lines. So like it really just shows like you go from a smaller market to like kind of a more of a commercial market as well. The local kind of food availability essentially all over Kerry is predominantly there's a lot of like farms and dairy products, but like, then again there's lots of like confectionery and cooking, and like we've got a lot of fish and fish seafood.
Sorry, we can't hear a lot of echo.
Right, all
So like
We can see your presentation, but we can't hear you because there's lots of echo in the background. We can't hear.
you can't hear us. Is it, okay, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Omnia aren't on silent. One of them.
Okay, so yeah.
Well, Omnias are not on silent.
okay. So like going through it all, the seafood and the shellfish, the meats and the dairies would probably be the main products that a lot of people would be getting from like around the county. So like it's a lot of local stuff essentially. Like there's a lot of different meat and fish suppliers, but then again there's a lot of like not specialty shops, but like a lot of fish and shellfish and seafood kind of driven restaurants that would be using a lot of the local produce. Like it wouldn't be coming from, let's say, like outside of Kerry. So like the Glen-based shellfish, as we said, like they're specialised in supply of shellfish sourced in crystal clear waters. But their range, like it includes way more than just like mussels and oysters. Like, there's mussels, there's flat oysters, there's wild cockles and periwinkles. It's a lot of like a wide and broad like spectrum of what they can offer. And just down there, there's a link for their website as well if there's any more information that you want to get off it. And then we took like the Ring of Kerry lamb as well because we just found it's very like predominant around the county, and it's literally going in a ring, so it's going from Killarney, Tralee, down through Carradaniel, Sneem, Kinmare, like it's all along that direction, but it could be supplied to anywhere in Kerry or even in Ireland. So like they market their lamb directly and have like partnered with local butchers as well. So like when you walk in, you might find that there is a selection of lamb, but like Ring of Kerry lamb might just be like the main one that they try and sell because it is local produce. And then there's ice cream as well, like to take into the dairy, to take dairy into the factory, like because they set it up in Dingle, the two brothers, and I find that like when it's a family-run business, like there's a bigger story behind it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to show you the video actually, like going into the background of producing it and just showing even, I think it is one of their ice cream shops essentially.
My name is Sean Murphy, and we started Murphy's Ice Cream here in 2000. At the time, there was only big factory, industrial level ice cream really available at the time. And given the extraordinary quality of the milk and the cream in Ireland, it seemed wanting that somebody would be making it into top class ice cream here. The milk is not only local milk, it's Kerry cow milk from the breed, the Kerry cow, which is an indigenous breed, meant to be one of the oldest milking breeds in the world. There are very few left. There are fewer in the world than giant pandas. But the milk is extraordinarily flavorsome.
Castro, once they discovered that the Kerry breed were a rare and maybe endangered breed, you know, this was their bit to help save the breed, you know.
Here at Murphy's Ice Cream, we have 15 flavor shops, and they change. Some of them do, some of them don't. We have to keep some of our favorites. So we have a good range of products, I think, and a good range of ice creams. We actually make most of what we do ourselves, so we don't buy them things like caramel sauce. We actually make them ourselves. So we take a lot of pride that we make everything from scratch here. So we have two shops in Dublin, in Wicklow Street and Temple Bar. We have a shop in Killarney. We have a shop in Dingle, and we have a little seasonal shop back west in Ballyfair too.
So we always wanted to make an ice cream here that was as close to what you would make yourself.
So as they kind of said there, that the cows are really only in Kerry. Like you can't actually get the cow, like they're indigenous to Kerry. Like you can't get their milk anywhere else. Like, and like that's what they take in, like as their speciality is. They only use that milk. They like founded the business themselves. They make everything from scratch. Like I just think it's like a really good example of like how far a company can come from like a small shop in like starting out to like having different branches all over the country. And then there's like where you could buy like some of the produce that's being made, like the Listowel, Dingle, Tralee, Kenmare farmers markets. Like they could be seasonal, or they could be like maybe every 2 weeks or every month or something along them lines. Like they're not there all year round, obviously, for like weather purposes. You can't really be selling like stuff like Wicklow strawberries and stuff along them lines. Like they'd be kind of during the summer. Like you get a lot of different stuff at the markets that you wouldn't get like in a normal shop. And it's a lot of specialty foods, people like maybe even trying to start out their business in the markets. So like there's the different farmer markets, like the information there be in the website, in the Taste Kerry website. And then like where to buy more produce as well, like you could get it in a lot of the different kind of, some of them are kind of restaurants as such, and some could be like delis, or they could just be small shops, specializing there. The little cheese shop in Dingle, like they've got, geez, I'd say like maybe not even 100, like a lot of like cheeses, like ranging from like what you could be getting in Kerry, and maybe like they wouldn't go as far as like getting kind of, I don't know, like a lot of different, like they could have a lot of different preserves as well, or something along them lines. They could take into account like all the different stuff that goes with like selling cheese and stuff. So like it's not like Spa Seafoods, like they have a restaurant and they've got like a fish shop out the front as well. But taking that into account, they still have products that like they will sell with their fish. They have wines they'll sell with their fish as well, and they could all kind of be local products, or they could be local like chilies or jams or chutneys or something along them lines. And then there's basically two books that we found were very interesting for like the purpose of this, like getting the background and local ingredients. So there's the Taste Kerry book, and then there's Kerry Food Story as well. So in the two links, essentially they've the whole book. Just to go through it, you go through it like page by page, and it will show a lot of different information about like food from all over Kerry, whether it be like dairy produce or like production of meats, confectionaries, and a lot of different chefs as well, like that would specifically be using different ingredients in their dishes. Like they probably wouldn't stray away from them. So like we just found it very interesting to like be able to have the two books that are predominantly based around the local food in Kerry and in Tralee. So and the dishes produced as well. And then there's the back of the book as well, the directory, and it lists out like main meat suppliers, fish and shellfish suppliers. You could have like confectionery suppliers. You could have bakeries. You could have like a lot of different things. Like they're all listed out in the back of the book, which is a great help because like you don't really need to go any further to get like even a phone call or an email just to like be able to contact them. Like from the one book, it's amazing. Like.
Maybe show them the poster that was yeah. No, that's a copy of
oh, yeah. So this was essentially like the directory that we were talking about, but it's just like a poster that I can't see now if this is actually going to come up. But it's literally just kind of listing off different meat products, different meat producers, prepared, but not even prepared foods. They're very little, like with seafoods, poultry and eggs, preserves, jams, confectioneries, vegetables, fruit and veg, organic produce, and there's a small list of drinks like dairy, as you can see, like dairy, baking, fruit and veg, and meat like is one of the main kind of components, let's say, of the whole directory list, like because there are so many different suppliers to choose from, which is amazing, like to have it in such a like close space to you, like. And like the poster can be put up in the chef's office as well, so like they can just literally turn and kind of go, like maybe we want to try like the ring of curry lamb to put on our menu, or maybe we want to try and get stuff out of Baku's Bakery to put on. Maybe we want to get like jams and preserves from like local suppliers, or maybe just even to use like honeys or something for like dishes in their restaurant. Like, so it's not straying too far away, and it's not kind of ordering the same thing the whole time from like big chain suppliers. It's local, like it's kept. It could be like family traditions. It could be like having that relationship with your butchers, or having that relationship with your suppliers that you keep, and you can then keep for like years to come in the restaurants. Like it might branch out and they might have a new shop which is closer to you, which is brilliant. Like, so you don't have to be, they don't have to be traveling as much, or you don't have to be traveling as much to them. But like it's still, you're making a name for yourself, and you're making a name for them as well if you're having their products on the menus. So like it's just amazing how it all kind of interlinks with each other, even though it is like so small, empty, but it's all the different towns. Like you could be getting so many different ingredients. You could have stuff from Steam, you could have stuff from Carhadaniel, you could have like preserves from Tralee, you could have ring of curry lamb, like you could have everything and anything on your menu now. So thanks for your attention, and Curve me Lamar, but essentially is what we'd say in Irish.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now about Omnia's turn. So what did you find, one of the most interesting things, or what is, thoughts about the local food in Ireland or near Tralee?
Very good presentation. Yes.
Yeah, but do you have a question or
something to add, or?
Okay, no, if Omnia doesn't have, then
okay. They were wondering about for your book, that do you use your book as a part of the studies, or it's just something extra?
It's something extra, but it can still be used. Like we have kind of one or two main books that we probably would use for our studies, but like any other book like that can contain a lot of information about like local ingredients around the college is obviously going to be a bonus to us, because like once you're learning about like the different ingredients, you might as well learn about like where you can source them locally. So like that, it's not used for our studies, but essentially it is helpful for our studies.
Okay. And the other one, we were quite impressed that the area itself, it is quite small, and you have a lot of different specialties. So wow, we can't wait to see that. Well, I cannot wait to see Kerry at the moment, and the flavors.
I suppose
one of the key things that that I suppose from a student perspective that people need to learn is the uniqueness of it. So it's the key reason why somebody will visit your area and not another area, because you cannot get Kerry cow milk anywhere else in the world. You cannot get Glenveigh shellfish anywhere else in the world because it is from the area, and the shellfish is harvested from the sea in the area. But the most important thing I think that we need to take away from it is, if you are doing it, you must tell the story. You must either write about it, put it on social media, and tell people. Because if you're doing it and you don't tell anybody, well, then how will they know? It's only if they come there, then by mistake almost, they might find out. So it's about, like you say, the whole idea of this module, and I think it's very good, is identifying local food, what's different about it, but making sure that you tell people. And that's why we kind of concentrated on the Taste Kerry website, because it's not, because it concentrates everything and it tells you everything about Kerry. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I think now when you have reached this, I think it's really excited to have like a dish and a menu about all these nice things that you can find. I mean, when I come there, I can take my jacket and we can do it together.
Like, there's so many different, when you think about it, there's one kind of specific book that kind of stands out. It's like the Dingle food book, essentially, where like a lot of chefs came together and created a lot of different dishes, but would have done it with a lot of the produce that's done in Dingle, or a lot of the seafood that's caught, or a lot of like the different different products that are created and have been kind of mainly based in Dingle, but might have spread out like across the county. So like, you still have like the one book to the one town. You could have like the one book to another town, like maybe in the next couple of years as well, about the specialty foods that are going on in their town. So I just find it really interesting to see how like a lot of different chefs can come together, and one chef might use like one ingredient completely different to another chef. They could use it in like a sweet dish, or they could be using it in a savory dish. It might even only be like the smallest amount, but still like it's a mention of that ingredient by a big chef from like that county specifically.
Yes, thank you. And I have progressed now to Omnia's presentation. And then people here at Bar, be careful, look at the presentation, and then it's our turn to comment the presentation. Yep, thank you. So feel free, Omnia, whenever you're ready.
Yes. Will you come next to it? Okay. We have a bit problems with starting, but pretty soon we will be there.
Pitäisikö puhua tähän? Eikö näin mun? Hello. Voiko joku auttaa? Mitä mä sanon? Mitä?
Se on organic meat farm. Se on täällä. Sulla on täällä. Sun tässä tää ekana. Sanot hello. Sitten tässä on tämmöinen presentation.
Mikä mä sanon?
Tää on tää ensimmäinen.
Voiko oikeesti joku englanninkielinen?
So we have a little bit difficulty now with the start. Students, they are quite shy to speak English. So, but they need to motivate now themselves. Haluatko sä auttaa vaikka? Pitää ryhmässä, että se on oikeasti opiskellut.
Osa sen kanssa.
Vimahti's main production direction is organic beef. The cattle are mainly of turkey feeds. Cattle are free to go outdoors all year round. For the winter, animals are moving into their straw-dried yard barn. Sorry about that. So, Realty's main production direction is organic beef. The cattle are mainly of Hereford and Hereford breeds. Cattle are free to go outdoors all year around. For the winter, animals are moving into their straw-dried yard barn, completed in 2014, which gives them plenty of space and light. The farm's Swedish name, Relax, first in history looks as early as the 15th century. Since 1725, the farm has been in the possession of Aminovs, and today it is the 8th generation of the family. There are numerous historic buildings in the manor's country, the oldest dating back to the 18th century.
And as you see on the photos, the animals are free to walk around all the way, so they're supposed to be happy.
Reco Local Food Circle. Reco is a local food circle which has many different local producers. Eat organic raw materials, for example, fish, berries, mushrooms, fruits, and vegetables. Reco has the idea that consumers order food directly from local food producers without the need for a middleman. History. Eiland Arto Torvasti established the apple farm of Lähdeaho in early 2000. The farm is an organic farm. The idea of setting up an apple farm started with the big apple trees in Eila's childhood home. And her mother's continued apple application. The farm was originally founded by Arvo Lähdeaho in the early 1930s. Nature-friendly. In all our activities, we strive to act with respect for nature. We recycle and sort our waste, and wherever conservative so that our posterity can also enjoy the clean, beautiful nature. Top quality. Foods grown with love and years of experience using traditional methods are of high quality and healthy. We are constantly investing in quality and constantly improving our methods so we can guarantee you the most delicious product. Organic. In addition to avoiding chemicals, eating organic is proven to be healthier. Several studies have shown that organic products contain more antioxidants, vitamin C, iron, calcium, magnesium, and chromium. The founder of bakery, Emil Halme, started his bakery business in 1899 in a farmhouse in Kauklahti. Emil Halme was originated from the region where he completed a cookbook in 1896. Genuine Halme bread is made in bakery where the tradition of handicrafts is still alive. Halme bread is still baked according to the same recipes used sour and sour root. Halme has pastries for everyday life as well as for celebrations. Sour bread, Hildelau country bread, carving sandwiches, stuffed cakes, sandwich cakes, and more. The birth of company in 1899 was a small one because a few years earlier, Emil Halme, a baker, was looking at the post-Atlantic labor market. However, there were no plans for emigration as Halme was late on the ship to America. The disappointment man did not mourn his fate, but set up his own bakery in Kauklahti, Espoo. Locations. Thank you.
Any questions? Ask any questions.
Ask any questions.
Thank you. And now we have our Lamia students will have a comment on that one. I.e.
have something. You said that the tradition still lives on from the original.
They still make the bread with the same recipe.
Same recipe, same procedure.
Yeah.
So it's the recommendation was passed until the day. Because it's kind of difficult to look for bakeries or restaurants that you pass all the techniques, ingredients until now. It's still alive. It's just amazing how to see it.
Yes, so it's the technique. So I think I can see this will be like a time machine.
Yes.
Going back, and then also in the bread production, when we use, like in Finnish we call it root. So when we have one way of baking the bread, so that base, so the origin of this bread root could go, generations and generations back. So it can be really old. And that's again, it's one huge story to tell about, like DJ was also talking about the stories and how it's unique and how nobody knows if you don't tell. So now if you're like eating a bread, instead of if you have a story. So this bread is made out of the same root that my grandmother made, the bread for their family like 60, 70 years ago. So this is basically, the same bread, or the, how do you say? Yeah, but it's made of the same origin. So I'm sure you look and taste the bread completely different way than if you don't know it.
And how simple thing it is. It's just, basically it's just the bread, and how small things can like grow a big idea like around it. Like we have this Maalahti bread also. It's a unique bread that I have delivered also to my friends because they don't have it and they are really excited about the bread. It's only the bread and gives so many people work in the same time. So it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Thank you about this. And the idea of this was to get orientated into the subject. I hope the goal was that we look the locality with a little bit different eyes now than we did before. So then when we start to plan our menu and the theme will be locality, so then we can, really get into it. The next thing we get back to the thing link.
Back to the same page that where we were before, our platform. There, that's the key.
Yeah, so don't worry about it. We spent almost 3 hours and we are only in 8. So it took a little bit longer than we expected, but we didn't want to interrupt anybody. So we just tighten up the schedule a little bit. So then we go actual planning. So the basic principles of menu planning. So when we plan our menu, we should have a variation, and we should have it in raw materials. We should have it in color.
Sorry to interrupt. Would you be able to share the screen as you're doing it?
You don't see it?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, don't know what happened. Okay, let's take it back. Okay, now.
Thank you.
Yes, good. So, basic principles of menu planning. So, we should have variation in raw materials, colors, and cooking methods. Everything shouldn't just be oven baked, fried, or so on. And also in texture and in temperature. So, we could have hot and cold food also. And then, even though with this variation, it shouldn't be just completely mixed. We should have some kind of a red line, meaning theme. And in our case, it will be locality and the story behind the food or the raw materials.
That you have invent some kind of an idea of the theme, that you are following the whole thing through.
And do I go away? Well, here I should be. Okay. So, and also we should think about the resources that we have in the kitchen, what kind of equipment we have. We always can't do everything we want to do. Sometimes we have to do what we can do. So what kind of a staff we have, how many of us, what kind of skills they have, what kind of raw materials we have. During the winter time in Finland, it's impossible to make a fresh strawberry cake out of the local berries, even though they are so good. We have to wait until June to get those. And so on. How much money we can spend, how much time we have. And then we have to think about the customers, what are their needs and demands. How many? It's completely different to cook for 10 person than for 100 person. What kind of diets they have and who they are. Are they elderly people, young people, athletes?
And you also make your menu doing those that who you are presenting it for.
And it's not always only what we want to sell. We always have to think about the person who is going to eat it. And then the nutrition values in some cases. But now when we talk about fine dining, we don't count the calories. But in long run, it's a one thing to think about. And then the theme, occasion, where are we going to serve it? Is it a lunch or is it a fine dining? Wedding, maybe some kind of a 90s theme party. or are we serving Oriental food? And of course, one is locality, and the locality will be our red line and team.
Yeah.
So these are the things that you should consider when you plan your menu, and these are the things that are evaluated then in the competition, or they work as the guidelines. So there's a lot of things to think about. And then a task. The idea was that we do again a short presentations about this, but we skip that. We don't have time for that today. So both this 1 and 2 you will do a little bit later on. So you should find out from the internet, so 3 different fine dining menus and how they are built. And it should be have like a 3-course menu, starter, main course, dessert. And one menu should have at least one should have something to do with the locality. So
I'm sure that you find these because most of the restaurants will also using a lot of local products and producers, and they also mention that one on the menu. So in our area, I know already a few restaurants who's doing that. So you just have to find your own and check it out, what kind of things they are using.
So today we skip the main presentation, but still do it before you start to plan your own menu. Do it for yourself. Go through this and look and see how they have done it. And not only about the raw materials and the food and the dishes, but also how they, what kind of style of the presentation they have for the menu card. And this is a menu card which is presenting the food. It's given basically to the customer. It's the ad which tells the customer what kind of food we are selling. So like there in the picture on the left, you could then, easily have your food in here. It's one way of. And then when you start to plan your menu card, or what do you have? So make sure that you think about the layout, the style, the colors. It should be easy to read and also, reflect the story behind the food. And think, of course, should be taken under consideration these gastronomic names, the gastronomic order, and special diet markings. At least in Finland, it's really important. And can't be mentioned too often, this locality in it. So this is also something that you all will do. So pay attention. Okay, and again, extra info about in video form. And this is something that you should check also before you start to plan it's basically the stuff that I was talking about is here in more detailed stuff and
larger amount of information.
Yeah, for you to check before you start to plan your menu. Okay, and then portion card. So now we have an idea what kind of raw materials we are going to use and what is our story and which foods we are going to make, starter, main course, dessert. And then it's time to put it into action. So we are doing these portion cards. So you should do a portion card. We have one model, you can use that. Or if you have something that you are using at your own school, if you have some program, like in Finland, we might have this Yamix and you want to use that, feel free. I'm sure these portion cards are quite universal. They have the same content and features all over the world. But what we should have in it are the recipes, meaning the ingredients, what we put, how much we put, and what do we do with it. So ingredients, amount, and methods. So then prices and calculations, what's there, how much the ingredients will cost, what is the margin, how much we will charge from the customer. And value add tax part also, if that relates to your country, and I think it does in most cases. And then the layout and picture, how the portion is going to look.
Take a few minutes to think about it also when you're making the portion cards, that if you are not there for some reason of that day, that somebody else can do that food without you. Make it as good with the layouts and pictures and prices and everything, so it's easy to put on without you.
Yes, and also the special diets, gluten-free, lactose-free. How do you modify it if you need, or do you have to modify it? And then here is again this carbon footprint, but it's not going to be part of today's agenda, so we don't go to that. So we look that
comes later on
in the future if we do stuff related to that. Yes, and also the now we have the menu card and a portion card, and those are two different things. The menu card is something that we give for the customers or them to see, and this portion card is something. It's a tool for the kitchen.
And the locality and the story also show on a menu all the time somehow.
Yeah, in the menu card that has to be shown. And why not? Even you can read it extra info into the portion card. So then somebody knows it, what they're actually doing and why they are doing things like that. There's a example out of the portion card. You can just look it. There's no functionality, but I will show you how it works. And then it will be shared for everybody, so you can.
And it's already in the Facebook page, so you can take it from there. This one is there. I have put it on.
Okay, so I think, yeah, we have to check that. We are going to put we did just slight adjustments.
But it's also okay if you have it in your own school, different kind of a portion card, so you can use your own because it's more familiar for you. So you don't have to use this one if you don't like. Everything goes until we got the same information on those.
Okay, so how this is built. So we have in here, you can see lower 1, lower 2, lower 3, lower 5, 4, and 5, and then we have one upper. So the upper is the actual stuff that it's the whole portion, and it's made out of the components. I'm sure, as you know, traditionally we have these 4 components on the plate. We have protein, sauce, vegetables, and carbohydrates like potato and rice or pasta. So, and then in restaurant we also garnish it somehow. So that might be the 5th if you want to do something special. And those components are then combined. So this lower one is one component.
Like sauce, one is potato, one is vegetables, and so on. And then you collect them on upper. So first you calculate them here, and then just put everything on upper card, and it calculates the whole amount of it.
Yeah, if you want to, you can open it in, find it from the Facebook. So you can open it from there, so you can test and follow how it works.
No, you can. It's a tool that you can use, but as I said, yes, you can use your own.
Is there some group which is going to open it and test it right away? Or do I just continue? Okay.
Continue.
Yes. Okay, so author who's done it, you can add your name in here. And the date when it's done. This is not so important information, but the component name, what it is. It could be, for example, I don't know, pepper sauce, maybe, and then what we put in there. So the net weight, of course, is how much we need it in the recipe, and it's important to remember that everything is in kilos. Even though you put cream, it's in kilos, so we just have to estimate that 2 DL, for example, is roughly 200 grams. So that's the challenge we face always when we do a portion card. If you want to have the total amount, how much it weighs, then everything has to be in kilos. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
The price.
And then how much it will cost for us per liter. Cream in Finland might be, I don't know, 5.20 per liter. And the prices are without value-added tax, always. And then in this case, there's no loss. We don't have to peel it. We don't have to do anything with it. It's ready to use. There's no loss. So if you put some stock, let's put meat stock. Now it's spelled, so let's put half a liter of it. And maybe that's not that expensive. Could be just something like 50 cents per liter. And what else do you want to put it? This is just to show how it works. And then you can add, for example, spices in one group. So you just put spices and estimate some price for it. And then you can put the different spices separately in here. Because the spices are usually so small amount, so it's not necessary to add them maybe in here. Okay, then more yellow parts, so lost weight in cooking. So we want to cook this sauce. We want to reduce the amount on the stove 15%. We want to cook it down. And then how many portions we get out of it. So we see ready food will be 600 grams. So if you put like, we get 5 portions out of this, maybe over 1 DL per, little bit over 1 DL, and it should be enough, maybe even less. It depends, could be even 6 portions. And then we write the method. What do we do? Then we have lower 2. Same things in here. It could be then just, you know, some kind of a beef. And then in there, how much in it's beef? Tenderloin, 32 euros per kilo. And how much we need? Let's say 500 grams, not kilos, sorry, 500 grams. And now we have to do something for it. So while we clean it, we might lose something like 8%. So that's why we have to buy almost 5.5 kilos to get 5 kilos of clean meat. And yeah, this is how much it will cost. Net price, meaning kilo price times the whole amount we have to buy, will be the price of the piece that we need to buy. And this is the price of the half kilo before cleaning. And then again, we fry it on the pan, maybe or the oven, we lose 15%, so we get 425 grams. So we can also see here that we have to increase amounts if you have a certain amount that we need. Okay, out of this, we get like 4 portions. And like this, 3, 4, 5. And then we have the upper. Okay, I put the name for the component also in here. So beef, BBQ, for example.
Barbecue and upper.
And then in here, so you can see the net weight per one portion, 119 grams out of pepper sauce, 106 grams of beef barbecue. So maybe it doesn't, you know, work in real life, but in this example, we can increase the amount of portions in here. We just go and add 7 into the sauce. So now we put less than 1 DL. So maybe now we are a little bit closer to truth. We can all again fill the yellow parts. So we have, and if the yellow parts in here means that if we have some other items, because we have only these 5 flowers. And then mise en place instructions. How do we finish it? And in here it will calculate the price. And the price is something that we give. So how much we want to charge out of it. If it's out of this portion we charge 15 euros.
And shows the sales margin.
Yeah, and if the value added tax is 14, like it is at the moment in Finland, it means that ingredients with value added tax will cost this much. No, it's maybe useless information at this point, but the sales price without VAT will be 12.30, and the ingredients without VAT will be 4.53 euros, meaning our sales margin is 7.76 euros, which is 63%. And I think in restaurant business, it should be at least 60.
So it's good. That's good. Good point.
And in here, you have the value added tax part. It's €1.72.
So this is how it works, basically. It's pretty simple and easy to use, and it calculates almost everything ready if you know where to put the right amount of it. So we're using this on teaching also here in Vamia.
And this is one thing I have to. Yeah, just otherwise it will show wrong. Yes. So now we have the right numbers. And this is why that kind of error we have still in the Facebook version.
Any questions now on this?
No.
Okay. So this is the put things sort of into action, because it's not only about the funny parts, what we can do and how and what this and that. So because the restaurant, it's also a business. It's not a hobby. So we want to make profit out of it. So we have to think about the profit. There's no use to sell food if we can't make any money with it. It doesn't matter how fun it is, how nice it is, but if the restaurant can't manage financially, why to do it? I would rather play on the beach than actually, be paying out of to be able to work. And there are questions, quite straightforward, basic thing. So you can use this form, which is going to be shared with the updates onto the Facebook, or you can use some of your own versions, which has the same features. And then in here, you can add the picture out of the portion. You can either, draw it or take an actual picture. But of course, I think before the competition, we are going to practice the portions, test them. And one thing to remember is all the events and things you can, put into your blog, that you have this portfolio. So when you visit the producer, how your menu card is going to look, share it or collect it into your portfolio, which was instructed in last online lesson. Okay, and then we go back to our presentation. Stop sharing. No, I can't stop sharing, sorry. But we have to change this, and then we go back to the thing link. So this is the portion card. And then we come to there's no task related to this, but the idea of the food story. You can, again, YouTube is full of stories behind the food. So you can watch those to get the idea. There is one example. We don't go it through now. Then there's one example article. So food with a story to tell. And like it says, stories have always been shared over a good meal, but it's a trend now that the chef and the artists are using the food itself to spin yarns. Okay, from ancient myths to family memories or whatever stories, and there is stuff to read if you click this read more. So it will give you an idea, and ideas hopefully for your menu. Okay, the task, so implement story behind your food menu, so to your menu card. And again, remember, menu card and a portion card, two different things, and we should do both.
And in this area, you can always come back all over and over again and check the materials and do things on your own things and collect them, collect the ideas, and starting to make an awesome menu for yourself.
Yep, and I think at the moment we have a little bit of time, so we can go back to this task and find out from the net 3 different fine dining menus. So we can have a small sort of a break until let's say 1:30. So 25 minutes. So you don't have to look for 3 at the moment. Try to find one which you think is a good example out of local menu. And don't think only about the food and the raw materials. Think also how it's presented. Okay?
Okay.
So small break, look at one presentation, then we have to do it, really quickly, not too much talking, quickly one presentation, and what do you think is good in that? So it should take the presentation only like few minutes per group, because I think we want to finish at 3, or at least we want to finish the whole after 50 minutes. So this is the last thing, then we summarize. Oona talks about open patches a little bit, and then today is done.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay?